What's up, cousins? I will give you guys a few minutes to get in. If you guys want to get in, it has been a long time since I have been live. But I asked you guys over on Instagram, say what's up if you're coming in so I can make sure that you guys are seeing and hearing me clearly. But I asked you guys over on Instagram if you wanted me to start doing lives, and I asked you guys what you guys would like to talk about, and I have a whole bunch to talk about. So I am going to give you guys a few minutes to come in. Say what's up. Say what's up to Davy. Hi, Davy. Say hello to the live. And so basically today's video is going to be about a few things. First of all, it's going to be about pretty much where I've been. Hey, what's up, Trina? It's going to be where I've been, and then we're going to get into just a little bit of what has been going on. Dubby. Trina says hi. Hey, Ashley. Come on in, guys. And so if you guys are just now seeing any of my content, or just now catching up with me, hey, cousin. It has been a while. You guys know, if you follow me over on Instagram, I have been just dealing with some things. I'm really dealing with grief, and really focusing on getting my health, both mental and physical, together. But I'm not going to hold you on that because we have plenty of live stream in the future to go. So yeah, first and foremost, let's just go ahead and get into this hair update and everything that's going on with the channel, because I know you guys been like, girl, where are the hair videos? I uploaded a protective style video, which was like a butterfly lock wig, on my channel last week, and that was just kind of me getting my feet wet, because you guys know I have been protective styling for the last literally year. So my hair is in braids, and my hair has been in braids literally for the last year. I have been what's up, Rebecca? I have been literally, it was a mental health thing. Like, I needed to take a break from everything natural hair content. You guys know what led up to those things, and lo and behold, I mean, we are right here again with the same feelings, and I'll touch on that a little bit more as we get on with the video. But basically, I have been taking care of my hair underneath, wearing a protective style like these. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I've done jumbo braids, I've done butterfly locks, I've done passion twists, I've done Marley twists, I've done all of that. Right now I just have some medium-sized braids, and literally just have been caring for my hair, wearing the braids for about 4 weeks, and then taking them down, washing and deep conditioning my hair, getting it very clean and moisturized, and installing them all over again. And I honestly can't tell you guys when that's gonna end because it has just been wonderful for both me and my what do I purchase? My rings and necklaces. So I don't wear a lot of jewelry. The majority of the jewelry that I have been wearing has actually been my aunt, who passed away. Like, the necklace that I have on right now is hers. My bracelet I actually got from Etsy, and then a few rings that I wear were hers. And every now and then I'll find some jewelry on Etsy that kind of catches my eye. I haven't had a problem with gold jewelry on Etsy. This is I want to say 14 karat gold, maybe 14 or 24. And it's good to see you guys too. And I haven't had any problem with any jewelry that I've purchased from Etsy. But you guys can, let me know where you guys purchase. Here, y'all, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's my watch. My watch turned the camera on. So anyway, that is that. And basically, to care for my braids, I will do a whole separate video. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. If you guys want an actual braid care video, it is very simple. I feel like I've done one in the past, but I'll be more than happy to do that for you. I'm most excited because I am going to start doing regular live streams where I asked you guys, like I said, over on Instagram. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, finally finally.amber over on Instagram. You guys can follow me there. And I try to be pretty consistent. However, there's another thing we'll get on later in the live stream. Instagram is going to do what Instagram is going to do. So whether or not you guys have been able to see my content or even know that I upload on there is going to be a whole different story. So like I said, I want to do regular live streams, and I asked you guys about the content that you wanted to see on these live streams, and this is just going to be like the cookout. Okay, we the cousins, it's a cookout. It's a cookout. Hey, okay. So everybody be talking about, you know, who invited to the cookout and who not invited to the cookout, and I thought these live streams would just be a great way for me to connect with you guys, to get back in the mind and the mood of hey cousin, back in the mind and the mood of uploading regularly and talking to you guys regularly and being able to interact with you guys. You guys said you wanted to talk about reality TV. You said you wanted to talk about Married at First Sight, which, honey, we're gonna get all the way into that towards the end of this video. You guys also said you wanted to talk about health and fitness, because if you guys don't know, I do have a bachelor's in kinesiology, as well as I am a certified personal trainer, and I do got a little bit of master's work going on in there. But you know, until Joe decide he paying for it, I probably ain't finishing that master's. But that's just, you know, that's just my tea. And then you guys also said that you wanted to, for my book cousins, you guys wanted to discuss books. So I thought that a great way to start off and let me know if I'm talking too fast because I am drinking coffee. I thought a great way to start off all of my live streams would just be to mention a book for the week. My goal is to do 1 to 2 live streams a week. And I'll just mention the book that I'm currently reading and give you guys a little bit of information on it, as well as a quote that I had read during the week that really resonated with me. And that's how we'll start off our live streams. Maybe you guys will get into reading if you aren't, or get some new material to read. So as you guys may know, again, if you're an Instagram cousin, I am currently reading The Marathon Don't Stop, The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle. And this was written by Rob Kenner. And Rob Kenner is like a hip hop journalist. And he was a part of like the original founding members of Vibe magazine. So he had been with Vibe since like 1992, and he has done write-ups on everybody from Tupac to Nipsey to Jay-Z to all of them, honey. And I was really drawn to this book just because I mean, it's Nipsey, and if you don't know anything about Nipsey, I feel like this is a very good book. Unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity to write his own autobiography that I'm aware of that has been published. But this is a great way to look into not only Nipsey Hussle, the rapper, but Nipsey Hussle, the person, the entrepreneur, the person who gave back to his community, who was into really, you know, buying back the block and really planting the seed from where you grew. And just a quick quote that stuck out to me from the book, and this is one reason why I like physical copies. I can just kind of like dog ear the page, but right here on page 17, it just talked about the influence of the late Tupac Shakur on Nipsey Hussle. And one of my favorite quotes from Tupac was, "I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world." Tupac said in a 1994 interview with MTV broadcast when Ermias, which is Nipsey Hussle's real name, was 9 years old. "But I guarantee I will spark the brain that will change the world." Pac would not live to see his 26th birthday, but looking back on his statement with the benefit of the 2020 hindsight, Hussle may well have been the person Pac had in mind. When it comes to his legacy, the marathon will never stop. And so basically, this is just talking about the work that he did in the community, as well as the work that he did as a music artist. So again, that is by Rob Kenner. And I will be more than happy to hold a separate live stream on books if that is something that you are interested in. Very quickly, I do want to let you guys know that since I'm doing these live streams, I have officially turned on my super chat. So super chat is just a way for you to directly communicate with me and directly communicate with the other cousins should they not be able to see your comments. Once we start getting this, on and popping, it's also a great way for you to support me and to support the channel and, to tell your girl, keep going. So, yeah, super chats are definitely welcome as long as they ain't Ushbucks, okay? All right, so speaking of Ushbucks, let's just jump on right in. The big thing that has been going on this week, or the funny thing, because one thing that I love about Black people is that we are able to focus on more than one thing at one time. And while there are or is a lot going on, we have the trial for Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd going on right now. Less than not the Ushbucks, please don't pay me an Ushbucks because my rent do not accept it, okay? I will say that the girl who created the whole Ushbucks pandemonium thing, she did come out and basically say, I never said that he only paid us in Ushbucks, but she kind of like put it out there as if he was literally making it rain in Ushbucks, and it just made me really feel away, like regardless, I feel like I was gonna say regardless of how you feel about exotic dancers, you really should not have a feeling about exotic dancers. That's my opinion. That is how those people get their money, and unless you're going to get the money for them, I feel like people really shouldn't have an opinion. People do what they have to do to take care of themselves, and I just can't imagine being a exotic dancer, a stripper, anybody, and somebody making it rain in Ushbucks. I said on Instagram, I would have had to fight him. Like, I would have had to see him in the alley afterwards, because I can't pay my rent in Ushbucks. But the girl did say, and the Las Vegas club did come out and say that he did not pay the strippers in Ushbucks or Usherbucks. It is a promo for his residency in Las Vegas, which I've seen Usher live, and it's an honest living, So I've seen Usher live, and he is very entertaining live. And my dad does live in Las Vegas, so who knows, I may catch a show, you know what I'm saying, and I may grab a Ushbuck or two, if I come to the show, to come back, just, the cheekiness of it now that it's gotten to be what it is, like, no matter what, the club has put out now, Ushbucks will officially be a thing, just like Virgil's and Meek Mill bucks, okay? I think I saw something that said 2 Virgils equal 5 Meeks equal 1 Ushbuck, and it had me weak, okay? So, yeah, send your girl some coins, but just not Ushbucks, okay? So there's that. The second thing that was really interesting that came out as it's pertaining to, and let me know how y'all feel about that. Like, do y'all think that was a good way to market? Do you think it was a bad move, like, for him to pass out Ushbucks in a strip club? Like, it's just like where people obviously, like, you dropped it on the floor. How quickly did you drop it on the floor? Like, did you mix it in with the money at the end, like, as you was leaving, as the ladies were like, how they gather up the money and then they take to the back to count it and distribute it and stuff like that? Don't drop that with my real money, like, for real, for real. And even going over to a serious aspect of that, we are very much in a trial right now that stemmed from somebody losing their life over an alleged false $20 bill. Now, like, I don't know anybody who would mistake a Ushbuck for a real dollar. Like, you pull it out and look at it, you're not gonna mistake a Ushbuck for a real dollar. However, if you counting, you moving real fast, I don't know. It's just, to be a Black person in America is very scary, and I just feel like, if I really just want to go deep Black lady with it, in the times that we're in, I get it's very cheeky, but people have lost their life. A man lost his life over somebody accusing him of paying with a false $20 bill, let alone a Ushbuck get mixed in the gist anywhere, anyhow, by mistake. I don't know. It just makes me feel very uncomfortable, which is an uncomfortable reality that we have to deal with being people of color, specifically Black people in America. So like I said, I may pick up a Ushbuck or two, but I'm gonna make sure, good and sure, that it's put somewhere far separate from my money. Like I said, it should be no denying it, but I mean, it's a pretty good replica of a Ushbuck, but it's almost also, it's like, sheesh, like the narcissism of it all, like putting yourself on some money. It's cute, it's cheeky. We're just gonna leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But speaking of narcissism, and I almost named this live the narcissism of it all, because we're going to talk about quite a few of them in the span of this live stream, rolling right on to the next narcissist situation. In my opinion, and since I was almost going to name this the Cookout, the narcissism of it all, because it's always like, who invited to the cookout? Nobody. Honestly, nobody. Okay, nobody who ain't been invited to the cookout is invited to the cookout. Let's just go ahead and make this statement right here. I don't care. Chet Hanks definitely ain't invited to the cookout. I don't care how many of y'all twerk on him or how funny or how cheeky he is. And Justin Timberlake ain't been invited to the cookout in a long time, since we realized that we shouldn't be giving these invitations out freely. Now, a lot of you are old enough to remember the Super Bowl fiasco with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, and the whole fiasco of her revealing him snatching the situation and revealing, you know, a little pasty situation going on, and people were just, you know, up in arms about this on their Super Bowl TV, this Black body being exposed, this poor white man being subjected to her over sexualized self. And if you are old enough to remember, you are old enough to remember that Janet Jackson got the full brunt of that fiasco. The blame was completely on her. She got blacklisted, blackballed. It was all over the news, like nobody had anything else to talk about at the time. And in the very beginning, to me, and this is, who knows, I was maybe a preteen or a young teen at the time, but even to me, it seemed like it was staged. It seemed like it was very staged, only because I am a Janet Jackson stan. I am somebody who has always she was it for me, and I have just watched all the, like, you know, extra DVDs that would come out of her concerts and things. And Janet Jackson is the original work ethic for the work ethic, okay? And it just didn't seem to me as if that would have happened. If it seemed to me as if, and also she has a very body positive, you know, very you know, sexualized content. She's a grown woman. If you've seen her concert, seen any of her performances, heard any of her actual albums, listen to the lyrics, listen to the words. Once she got off up under Joe, okay, she wanted to, you know, she was grown. So it didn't seem far-fetched to me that it would be something that they had planned together. And this was just me as a young person. And you know, she took the brunt. She actually had to fight her way back through her career. Meanwhile, you know, it was poor Justin, and Justin's career just kept on keeping on. And, you know, like we see in a lot of situations in America and in other places, if you're a certain skin tone, you're held to a certain standard. But if you're another skin tone, then you're either, you know, a slap on the wrist, or you're made to be the victim. And well, since then, so many things have come out. You know, it's been very clear that Janet Jackson don't mess with him like that, okay? And he really did. He left her out to dry. And it's been different producers and managers coming out to say, what's up, cousins, if you're coming in the cut. It's been different producers and managers to come out and say, you know, Janet needs to let it go. She needs to move on. She needs to forgive him. First of all, who says she hasn't? Who says she hasn't forgiven that man? She very well could have forgiven him, but just because you forgive somebody don't mean you have to mess with them any further, let them in your circle, work with them again, or even tell them that you have forgiven them, because forgiveness is not for them. It is for you, and it is for your growth, your well-being, and to let it go. They better leave Janet alone. Yes, yes. And so that's number one. Like, why is it that we feel the need to make Justin feel better in the situation? When now it's coming out that he staged the whole thing. It was him. It was him staging it. He had a man moment. He felt the way. He felt like Britney Spears was up. This is what's being alleged. Let me go ahead and say that. Felt like Britney Spears was upstaging him with the whole Madonna kiss or whatever. And just me personally, I ain't never seen a Madonna kiss that looked appealing to me. I don't know. Not that one. Not the one with Drake. Not none of them. Okay, you know, bless her heart. But if I was him, man, what you trying to compete with her so bad for? So apparently that was like he was in this frantic mode to upstage and have something, you know, mind blowing or shocking to match that. And so that's even more of a reason why it's like, so it was your idea? Like, it was your idea and you left her out to dry? Or if it was, even if it was 50% your idea, even if it was 40% your idea, even if you just agreed to do it, the fact that you left her out to dry as if she staged her own Teddy to pop on out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's that. So I say all this to say, Justin ain't had an invite for me for a long time, because I, you know, have been seeing it for what it was for a long time. But I am glad that our good sis Janet is getting, you know, it's, you know, even if you moved on from stuff, sometimes it feels good to be vindicated, especially when it's so many people who wanted to, again, blacklist and blackball you because you are black. It feels good to be vindicated, and, you know, for it to be the truth to come out. So whether or not she chooses to forgive him or whether or not she has forgiven him, that's on our good sis Janet. And I fully support her in whatever she chooses to do. But personally, even if she did forgive him, I feel like it don't need to be no kumbaya moment. It don't need to be no nothing. Has he come out and publicly apologized? Why she gotta publicly forgive him before? I think maybe I saw something where maybe he said he regretted it or something. And that may be just me making it up. If y'all know, let me know. But why is it always on black women to absolve people of their guilt? Let me know that in the comment section if you have an answer for it. Why is it always on black women? Like, why do we have to be the protectors and the providers and the nurturers and the forgivers and all of this, and our back is tired? Okay. She said, yeah, he did, but it's too late, sir. Yeah. To me, it's too late, because she probably lost millions upon millions of dollars when she got blackballed during that time, not to mention her reputation. He just sat by like a coward, really. And it's just very interesting that black women are always who we want to go to for the clout or the exposure, or when we need help. When anybody needs help in advancement, it's black women. But when black women need to be protected, we strong. You know, we got it. We But okay, so moving right along. Again, on the line of narcissists, another thing that y'all have said that y'all wanted to talk about, which, honey, let me just tell you right now, y'all may not want to open up this can of worms with me. So why I got my good sis? Okay, sis, let me get on in the live stream. Let me get there. We got topics to cover. So moving right along, let's talk about this next thing that I said I could probably talk about all day, but I ain't gonna spend time on him, okay? This good old married at first sight. Specifically Paige and Chris, okay? A lot of y'all said that y'all wanted me, ooh, and Derek, child, please don't get me started, okay? But specifically Paige and Chris, because a lot of y'all said that y'all wanted me to talk about Married at First Sight and y'all wanted me to talk about reality TV, but he one of those people that I feel like thrives on the attention. He has gotten so much attention with his narcissistic behind. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a show on Lifetime called Married at First Sight where it is exactly what it depicts itself to be. Couples literally get married at first sight, and we follow them over the course of 8 weeks to see whether or not it was gonna work. And let me tell you, everybody but Miss Paige could see from day one that it wasn't gonna work. From day one. And I know that people are saying that the word narcissist or narcissism is being overused, but really what it is that it was being underused before people started realizing what they were dealing with, okay? People are being more educated. We have the land of the World Wide Web now. We have access to so many things, people sharing things that people are realizing that they were dealing with a narcissist, okay? And from the very beginning, Chris was very adamant about letting it be known what he had, who he was, what this status was. He had the audacity to tell her friends that he was if he is anybody's trophy. I saw a thumbnail that said he got a face that only a mother could love. And baby, even if I was the mother, I would just have to say, ain't he precious? Because ain't nothing cute about that. Not the attitude and not the face. And so I would be more than happy to deep dive into a Married at First Sight lives with y'all. But I feel like Chris get a little bit too much attention that he is just eating it up. I mean, throughout the season, he has been on social media arguing with nobody but women. Let's start there. Arguing with nobody but women. And tomorrow is it airs on Wednesdays, and so I feel like Wednesdays could be a great time after the show for me to recap with you guys, because I know it's a little late. It's like almost midnight East Coast time, and so that's, you know, Married at First Sight comes on, and I believe 5 o'clock my time, and it stays on for like an hour and a half. I think you really get a good bit of Married at First Sight, I feel like. Excuse me. So it would have me coming on here around the same time. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, we can deep dive into it, because I don't know if y'all have caught the preview of Decision Day, but I have pretty much checked out of Paige and Chris. And I know a lot of people are holding on to this whole narrative of poor Paige. And I entered it at first being like, poor Paige, simply because I have dealt with a narcissist. And if you guys are OGs of my channel, we ain't even got to go there. However, so that part gives me compassion and gives me a heart for her. However, it comes a point when somebody shows and tells you exactly who they are, that then you're making a conscious decision. And I am well aware of the manipulation tactics that narcissists use to make you literally doubt yourself, literally doubt your own sanity and the decisions that you are making, and, you know, whether or not you are in your right mind. I completely understand that, but it comes a point when everybody but Paige is realizing. Brianna is fed up with Chris. What's her little name? Little Virginia been fed up with Chris. Dr. Pepper is good and fed up with Chris. And don't get me started on Dr. Cal is good and fed up with Chris. And one thing that Chris was not ready for is that Dr. Cal wasn't gonna let him gaslight him, okay? Chris showed up in this the last episode, showed up 45 minutes late. And see, that's when I would have told you that I'm reclaiming my time, and I wouldn't have had nothing to say. I understood that they had to get footage, but especially when he sat down there and said that you could have sent me a black queen, a white queen, or any queen with a fake apology, without her face, as if your face. And here's the thing, I refrain from trying to talk about anybody's appearance simply because that is who God made you to be. But Chris is one of them people that need to be humble, because he is really stuck on, to me it seems like, a colorist issue. He keeps saying it's a face issue, but ain't nothing wrong with her face. You know, something may be a little wrong with her reasoning process, but ain't nothing wrong with her face, okay? Especially compared to his face. And I don't like to talk about people's faces because that's what God gave you. But this man really had the audacity to keep digging the knife and twisting it and twisting it. And the biggest problem I have with that is that Paige continues to lean on God as if God is telling you to stay with this man. Like, God is not God, okay? In the words of our good sis Melody Holt over from Love and Marriage Huntsville, God said go. Okay, why are you dead set on God telling you to stay in this covenant when it could be God giving you the signs and the symbols that this man is the devil? Okay, so praying and all this, and she's so, and coming from a believer, it's just like, it makes me so just like kind of like sad and frustrated that she feels like a God would design that type of covenant for her. So it's like, and especially knowing that he said this and not even knowing if she is aware of the things that he said. Y'all keep saying why Tab in the thumbnail. Can I get to our good sis Tab? Y'all gonna rush me. But knowing that, not knowing what he said, like maybe, but knowing what she said in Decision Days, is just really making me check out from that whole situation, because she don't want better for herself. So if Married at First Sight is something that you guys want to discuss tomorrow, tune on back in tomorrow and we can go ahead and talk about it. Now let's go and get into our good sis Tabitha Brown, because y'all gonna rush me to get to it. And basically I wanted to discuss Tabitha Brown because of a number of reasons. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know what I'm gonna say, which is why I wasn't in a rush to get to it. But we all know that we came in contact with our auntie Tab. I call her my auntie Tab, literally a year ago. And she posted it was literally a year ago during quarantine, where her daughter Choice, introduced her to us, and then she suddenly became the internet's mom. And that was just very, very inspiring to me. And I always like to end, we're going to want to end our live streams with a good note, which is why I saved Tabitha for the end, okay? But it's so inspiring to me, and I wanted to encourage y'all, and just also talk about something that she spoke on today, that your life can change literally in a day, okay? In one day, she went from what we know, literally pure obscurity. She was a happy mom, mother, vegan, and just a light bringer. And her children brought her, or her daughter put her in the limelight, and now she has an NAACP award in 1 year, millions of followers, her own business, and a lot of support worldwide. Not only, she's not like the Black internet's mom, she's the internet's mom. And it's very inspiring because so many of us feel like we put in so much work and we're not seeing any of the fruits of our labor. And Tabitha is a very good example that literally when God wants to do something, he doesn't need your permission. He don't need a setup. He don't need a jump pass. He don't need your help to do it. He's just going to do it in the allotted time. And there's so many situations and scenarios where we feel like our opportunity is past, or God is overlooking us and it just wasn't the time. Who knows if she hadn't been introduced to us in the middle of a quarantine where people had nothing to do but want to try new things, possibly go vegan because they in the house and scrolling TikTok or scrolling through whatever. Who's to say that if that would have happened at any other time, she would have got lost in the sauce? And another great example of this is a lot of us, when we think of, especially if you're in my age or younger, when we think of people like Tina Turner, who recently had the documentary Tina on HBO Max, which I love Tina. You learned that Tina didn't see the peak of her success until she was in her mid 40s, 50 years old. And so that's just something to really think about, to understand that God don't have, your concept of time is not the same as God's concept of time. That's number one. But sometimes you have to, it has to be the right setup, right place, right person, right situation for what God is trying to do in your life. And I spoke on this over on Instagram so many times. We'll look at accomplishments that other people have going on, and it may be the thing that you want, it may be the goal that you want, it may be the number or the subscriber count or the money or the car or the job or the man or the clothes or whatever it is that you want. It may be the thing that you want, but it's not the way that you want to receive it, because what you have going on in your life and the type of person that you are is completely different than the type of person that they are. And so you may have a goal and it may be just right, but you're trying to get it a different way, and God wants to deliver it to you a different way. You may want that car, but you may want it without a car note. You may don't want to lease your car. You may want that house, but you may want to pay cash for it. You may want them clothes, but you may want a closet full of them instead of just being able to afford the shirt and not the belt and the pants to go with it. You get what I'm saying? You may want a man, but you don't want any man, okay? You don't want a piece of a man. You don't want to be a page in a situation when you're coveting the marriage and not the person, and not being able to see the person right in front of you. And unfortunately, I feel like that's the situation that she's in. She wants to be a wife more than she wants to be married to that actual man, but that's the man that she feel like God put in front of her, so she gonna put whatever she gonna put up with whatever she can get. And so that's just a little tidbit there for our good sis Tab, that our good sis Tab can teach us. But also with everything that is going on with Tabitha Brown, recently accidentally, you can call it what you want, I don't believe it was. There's a big difference between a taser and a firearm, okay? However, Tabitha Brown again used her platform today, I want to say, either it was today or late last night, to speak on just where she was, how she was feeling, and using her platform to really reach people who look like and don't look like her on what it really feels like to be a person of color in America. And she essentially had to come back and say that her video was being shadow banned. And that is one thing that I wanted to talk about. And again, I wanted to save it for the end for those of y'all who may feel like y'all haven't been seeing my content or seeing my content over on Instagram. If you do follow me on Instagram, it would mean a lot to me if you would visit my Instagram page and just kind of interact with things, because that exact thing happened to me last year, and it never ended. Like, I absolutely got shadow bans for the content that I was posting, for speaking out during the uprisings, for being very candid with my feelings, both on what was going on in the uprising with the brands on the political aspect and how I feel as far as the reform movement goes with the policing system here in America, which is we've been talking about reform for a long time, so it needs to be a different conversation because there's no reform being made. And so I absolutely was being shadow banned. This video might be shadow banned, and that was just something that I had to be comfortable with from the very beginning. I knew that it was something that could happen, and almost seeing it happen to somebody with such a big platform almost made me be like, okay, because you know, a lot of times you're like, dang, is it just me? Like, why? But regardless of what it wasn't gonna stop me from saying what I had to say, and it's still not gonna stop me from saying what I have to say. What is shadow ban? Basically, shadow ban is when a platform limits your visibility because of the content that you are posting. They feel like it's not brand or advertiser friendly. Black bodies, unless you're using us for fashion or our physical features, Black bodies are not advertiser friendly when we're asking you to stop killing us. And so when people post things like that, first and foremost, you have to understand that these platforms are monetized platforms. Instagram is heavily monetized. It started from the minute they got rid of chronological order, and they're constantly looking for ways to promote themselves and their partners. And so when you are posting things, a lot of brands want to stay away from political topics, which I don't understand why our lives are being politicized. It's just like, why does it have to be a political thing to literally ask you to treat us with the same respect as treat every single human being with the same amount of respect and care for our lives? However, brands don't think that that is very advertiser friendly, which you guys know that was my issue with brands. And so because of that, they will essentially like almost completely limit whether or not your posts are visible. And that started happening to me last year. And it's one of those things that you can break a shadow ban, but you have to work really, really hard at it. And I was just in a headspace where I wasn't interested in working really, really hard for a platform that was shadow banning me. You guys know I got off of a different platform for that reason. And to see that this platform or Instagram had did the same thing to Tabitha, it's almost like, you know, and I knew that then. It was like, it was just one of those things where I was at my wit's end, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. For me, just particular, when it happened with the other platform, I just was like, you know, I don't care. I'm just gonna delete it. It's not a big deal. I wasn't really trying to make a huge like political statement, but when I saw it happen, I was like, you know, okay, we'll show you. You know, sometimes it takes a few people being willing to be the ones that like delete and get rid of it and mean what they say to make it a better place for other people. And I did notice when that happened, you know, a lot of opportunities start coming out with like all these initiatives for people of color and influencers and stuff. So that is great. And you know, if they stand by what they say, absolutely. And the thing about it with Instagram, it's like a part of me has been wanting to lead a platform for a minute now, but I just don't, because I do like the creative aspect of uploading pictures. And even I spoke to you guys about this recently on a story post that I put here on YouTube about the fact that YouTube was going to restrict a post that I had because I was in a swimsuit. And I told you guys, you know, probably somebody, some hater reported it because I was in a swimsuit. And you know, it's a little cheeky, but it was not a thong. It wasn't anything like that. And they wanted to restrict the content, and I appealed it. And I appealed it under the guise of, you are policing my black body in a way that you don't do other content creators. You don't do Caucasian and other content creators like this. We see the crack of the behind of every Kardashian every time we turn around, okay? And there are other Caucasian bloggers. There are other, hey cousin, there are other vloggers who are not black who openly post try-on hauls, swimsuits, vlogs, and everything in their swimsuits, and they aren't being restricted and policed in a way that a black person is. And it's like that all boils down to the over sexualization of black bodies. Like, we all know from a very young age, black girls leading up to thank you, leading up to black women, we are super over sexualized, and we can just go back into the history of, you know, why that happens. And I just decided that I wasn't going to stand for it, and I appealed it, and I hey cousin, I appealed it, and I did win my appeal. The story is still up, simply because it wasn't right and it wasn't fair. So there are certain things where and you know, through this year, you guys know I've experienced like a devastating loss, like the most devastating loss that I've ever experienced in my life, in losing my aunt. And so that was just something that I just needed to take my time with, in, you know, dealing with the grief process and really just working through that, and, you know, spending time with my family and finding myself again, finding what makes me happy and the kind of content that I want to upload, and not feeling like I have to upload hair content out of obligation, but that I have the room to grow. And also not feeling so attached to the people who, you know, don't necessarily feel like they have to take that journey with me. Not everybody is going to be interested in the growth, you know, of me, other than my hair. And so that is another part of it. I do understand that, as far as like, you know, shadow banning and Instagram content and stuff, is that a lot of people just, they met me as Hair Mary, and that is all they are checking for. And if that is you, bless your heart and God bless you. But unfortunately, I always wanted my channel to just represent who I was at the time. There are times, you know, a time in my life where I was heavy into hair, and my hair was like a form of therapy for me, doing my hair. Kara said she met me as Te Amo. Yep. And you know, I was heavy into hair as Te Amo. That was my original Instagram name, and that was inspired by Rihanna. But you know, that's fine. Styling my hair at the time and being really heavy into my hair was a form of therapy for me, and it helped me through a lot of stuff that I was going through, as far as, you know, my college journey and being a broke college student and really just having nothing to do except do my hair. And so as I've, you know, moved into big girl adulthood, you know your 20s, you know, is your cute adulthood, and then when you get to your 30s, you like, you know, I'm a big girl, you know. I have different responsibilities, different things, and now I'm actually in real therapy. And so for me, self-care and therapy has been more self-care for me to not have to worry about my hair than constantly worrying about my hair. And also feeling like I was defined by my hair, and feeling like, you know, you guys wouldn't care what I had going on if I didn't talk about my hair. And you know, that could be true, and that's fine. People have their own interests, but I couldn't let that dictate me. You know, like, it was legitimately stopping me from wanting to upload on my content, because I felt like nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. And through therapy, and also just, you know, when you lose somebody extremely close to you, especially when that person is your mother figure, it makes you want to live life in a way that is unapologetic. And so I had to get to that place. And so taking care of my body, I go to the gym 6 days a week and then walk on the 7th. Taking care of my body, getting up, not having to worry about my hair, being able to work out, going on my yoga journey, becoming a registered yoga teacher, getting back to my roots, because it was a period of time, because that was all that you guys wanted, kind of, I feel like you guys wanted to hear from me. It was a period of time where I had a whole degree, and was working 2 whole jobs, a full-time and a part-time, and still coming and doing YouTube, and not sharing any of that journey. So then when I started to, you know, talk about fitness stuff, people was talking about all this stuff and why are you doing this? Doing this? Like, that's what my degree. Like, that's what I went to school. Like, that's what I paid Auburn a whole bunch of money for. Okay, like that legitimately was what made me happy outside of turning the camera on. And so self-care for me now is just showing up in the growth in the person that I am now. And I'm very, very appreciative of you guys who, you know, want to rock with your girl anyway. Wanna rock with your girl. So yeah, these lives will be about everything, but what I would love is if, first of all, everybody who is watching this to thumbs up the video. Second of all, everybody who is watching this, leave a topic for the next live down in the comment section. Any questions that you have, any topics that we will cover. The general gist of it will be thank you. Kara said she loves my personality. The general gist of it will be the cookout, and we'll start the cookout, like I said, with a book for the cousins, a little inspirational quote, a little book that you could probably read if you want to get into reading, or if you are a reader. We'll touch on the cookout topics, you know, people that we want to bring to the cookout table, and tell them whether or not they can stay or they got to be on their way. Okay. Yeah, you guys are in the live chat, but make sure that you leave the suggestions in the real chat as well, just so that they'll be easily accessible to me, because when I'm like scrolling through things in YouTube Studio, it's very easy for me to go through on my phone if they're in the regular comments, so I can just go ahead and start planning for it. That's pretty much what I did today, just plan for what I wanted to talk about based on what you guys said over on my Instagram. And so leave that in the real comments just so I can scroll through that. And yeah, so we'll just be talking about it, and then we'll end it with, you know, an inspirational person like we did with our good sis Tab that y'all was just ready to get to. And I love her, and I saved her for last because truly Tab has been that little speck of hope through all of this. I feel like that's why so many people gravitated to her through the panoramic, through the Panda Express and the pancake, everything you want to call it. But through the quarantine and the pandemic, I feel like everybody really gravitated to her because it is very important, especially as Black people, that we take care of our joy, that we take care of ourselves as well-rounded people. And one thing that became very evident for me when we were going through the uprising last year is that I was so angry. I was so mad. I was so frustrated. I just was laser focused. And even when everything was going on, like, you know, Black people always find a way to laugh and, you know, find a way to not stay down. Like, I couldn't even really, like, I laughed and chuckled at a few things, but I had to find my joy back, and a lot of that came from Tabitha. So I wanted to end it with her because she was that for a lot of us. Just that smiley, encouraging, just, you know, Black woman joy that I feel like we all need. And so that's what I want this live to be. I don't want it to be too heavy. Like, of course, if there's something that we need to discuss, and one of y'all said that y'all wanted to come to the lives and just exhale and leave it here, I think, you know, there'll be certain lives that I'll do that'll be great for that. Like, maybe we'll do a sound bath live. If you guys have never done sound baths before, they're just really relaxing. It's just like sound bowls and music that are meant to trigger your vagus nerve, to induce like calm and to settle down the fight or flight mode that it feels like we as Black people are always in. So we'll do that, to just exhale and leave it here. And then, of course, as the lives go on, you can drop your girl a few Ushbucks, okay? So yeah, oh, sound baths. So one of you guys are really excited for sound baths. So that'll be it, and that's all I have for today. Don't forget to say what's up down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next live. Peace, cousins.